get a beep, beep, beep. Ladies and gentlemen, from Liverpool, the Beatles. Ah! Yeah, I want to talk about the Beatles real quick. And there's a band floating around. All right, slow down. I may have mentioned in a previous episode I didn't take the chin curtain out of this modular before I put the Skezen strap mount for the GoPro, so it does inhibit my jaw movement, and it's hard to talk, even for me. Anyway, let's talk Beatles today. So I've had this debate, for years about who's better, and we don't use the word better, but like who do you enjoy more and why? And it's Beatles or Beach Boys. You have this, Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin or blah blah blah. And so when I grew up, my parents had what do you mean I haven't grown up yet? I'm working on it. My parents had Beatles records and Beach Boys records, and I used to say that I liked the Beach Boys better, but I'm not sure that was actually true. And what's up, buddy? Look at that pothole. Woo, that's a tire eater. One of my friends makes the argument that the Beach Boys, yes, had some really spectacular songs, but if you look at the length of career, as a band, versus the number of great songs that came out, Beatles come out the clear winner. They landed a million punches in one round, and the Beach Boys landed a million punches in 20 rounds. That was my friend's argument. Well, maybe I don't disagree at all, but so I'm not going back on my, I definitely like the all right, here's what I've realized, as I'm trying not to get smushed between these vehicles. I like them both, but for different reasons. That's what I've sort of come to realize. And I'll tell you, when I was a kid, the Beach Boys and their crazy harmony and chimey guitars, I like that stuff. The song In My Room was when I was going through really hard times as a little kid. I love that song. I love the way the harmonies stack and build. And there's a couple other songs, and I'm not going to talk about them right now. Wow, look at that. All right, dude, pay attention. Guy almost hit the guardrail and he's looking at me. Anyway, maybe I'm like Helen of Troy. People are slamming into guardrails just to get a look at me. Oh, here we go. Here's another. What's up, dude? You're on candid camera. Oh, it's a cop. Whoops. Both hands on the handlebars, sir. My mistake, officer. So the Beatles. Here's what really got me reinvigorated for Beatles music. A couple of things. My friend had an extra ticket to 1964, the tribute. This is a Beatles tribute band that it tours. I don't know if they leave the U.S., but they tour the country, and they play vintage instruments, and they are proficient and they are adept. If you close your eyes, you think you're watching the Beatles. Well, it's kind of that thing. If you want to see, all right, let me put it this way. I always hated early Beatles stuff like I Want to Hold Your Hand and all that, la la la, all that fluffy pop music stuff. But hearing it live with real instruments and vintage instruments out of really proficient musicians and vocalists, the music really came alive. And what I realized was listening to that pop sort of stuff through lousy, let's say, transistor radio speakers or old 1980s boombox speakers, it's no wonder I didn't really care for it. But to hear it live and to actually feel the thump of Ringo's drums and to actually hear the bass lines, and watch, Paul's twin brother there playing those lines, really watching the guys manipulate the switches and knobs and stuff on their vintage instruments really brought that music into 3 dimensions for me. So listening to the Beatles on the old speakers, all that pop stuff, was like getting a pretzel and just licking the salt. Ugh, gross. Whereas hearing it live on those beautiful, well-maintained instruments was like eating the whole thing. You know, that hot pretzel. And it was really, really good. And I really kind of invigorated my love for the Beatles. And then a couple nights ago, my wife and I finally got around to watching Yesterday. Are you familiar with the movie Yesterday? Was it Hamish Patel? What's his name? The lead actor there? And the premise is he's a singer-songwriter. He's not great. I mean, if you know him, you know, you listen to his music and you're happy to be hearing live music. But if you don't know him, you know, you could walk out mid-set and not feel like you're missing much. Well, something happens after one of his, he's walking home, riding his bike home. He gets whammed by a bus. This is kind of in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything. He gets whaled by a bus and knocks a couple of teeth knocked out and all that sort of stuff. Well, when he gets back out into the real world, you know, he makes a couple references, Beatles references. He's a big Beatles fan, and people are like, huh? And you know, he's sent to paraphrase poorly. He's like, essentially like, what do you mean, huh? And he realizes, oh, there's no Beatles music on Earth. It's all, it never happened. And I know these songs, at least most of them to get started. And so he starts playing Beatles songs for the people. And, well, just take it from there. But I'll just tell you a couple of really cool things about that movie. It's a really interesting premise. Imagine the world if there had been no Beatles songs. Think about the web of influence coming off a band like that into all. What are you waiting for, buddy? Probably paid salary, so he doesn't really care where he's going. Anyway, imagine like all the webs of influence. Everybody the Beatles ever influenced, all the products and you know, the fashion whatever's just gone, doesn't exist. Imagine that, you know, crazy. And had the Beatles never existed. And so it's just a really interesting. Oh, and the interesting thing about the movie is I'm going to say maybe his name wrong, but Hamish Patel, forgive me, but he had to learn to proficiently play all of that music that you see in the movie. It's actually him playing, yep. But even more impressive than that, well, a little fact, somebody's got a little gas leak there. So not only is that impressive, but the takes in the movie itself, like this one scene where they're sitting around an outdoor table under an umbrella, and he's performing a song. He's not lip syncing to a track that he pre-recorded. That's what most people do, you know, so you don't have to worry about wind noise or pitchiness or anything like that, or hitting a wonky note. But no, he is actually performing it for the camera during those takes. That's mightily impressive, if you ask me. You didn't ask me, but I'll tell you anyway. That's mightily impressive. So any music you're hearing him perform in the movie, he's literally performing it as it's being recorded. That's what you're hearing. So yeah, and the director and producer or whatever both said, like, when they first heard him, Hamish Patel or whatever, this is the guy. This is who we need. Here he is. You look no further. So very, very impressive. I really enjoyed the movie. The movie's called Yesterday. I think that might be Police. Oh, maybe not. It's hard to tell. So anyway, yeah, 1964, The Tribute. If you get a chance to check that band out, please check them out. And the movie Yesterday came out in 2019, I believe. You get a chance to watch that movie if you're a Beatles fan, or even if you're not. If you're not a Beatles fan, check it out. And let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, guys, I care about you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.